Yes. You are the miracle to me. You're the miracle to me. The miracle to me. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all once more for joining us on this wonderful edition of the Eman Kepa Show. I've received so many calls from uh, many of you saying, "Hey, what's happening with the podcast? What's happening with the podcast?" You all know what has been happening with the podcast. Uh, we took a little leave of absence so we could focus on the official launch of the Kepa Productions, and of course, release our wonderful movie Fatal Abuse and our wonderful song The Miracle, which just played now. It's been a very stressful few months, and I really want to thank all of you who were part of the support in getting this happen. If you are not yet sharing, please go ahead and share this live so we can get going. We have a wonderful topic to talk about today: the Christian and politics. What is our role? We all know this election season, and there's so much going on, and we want to know where we come in, of course, as Christians and what we have to do. Uh, Going back to our official launch that just passed, oh my God, the reviews and the good talks were just overwhelming. I really want to thank you all. I wanted to do a live just for this, just to thank all the fans, thank all those who sacrifice their time, their money, their energy to make that launching a come and see. Like the turnout was so fabulous. All of you who dedicated your all in an indefatigable way to make that possible. I just want to thank you all. And I want to assure you that that's not the end you're seeing of Emankepa Productions. We are already working on our next piece, our next movie. Hey, you who can act, call me. Let's work this out. I don't want to do this again. I don't want to go through what I went through by myself. I want all of us to go to do this together, right? Let's come out with a beautiful piece that will be as good and as beautiful as Fatal Abuse. And of course, if you haven't watched Fatal Abuse, please go now to Eman Kepa's production on YouTube and watch it. Don't just watch it and share. Share the live with as many as you can. Uh, that's our official banner. You already know it. And of course, if you watch, subscribe to. That is how we put our message out there. We put in so much energy and work so that you all can just chill, relax, watch, and have a good laugh, right? Today, I have my wonderful brother, Pastor Paul Elume. You'll be doing this with me today. We'll be talking about the Christian and politics. The way the man is sitting, it is ready for preaching. Today, no be preaching up. Pastor Elume, a few words to our fans today. They've missed us so much, bro. The calls, the
All right.
text, like what's happening to our podcast? Our podcast is back, bro. It's back, man.
Hi everyone. Hope you guys are doing all right. Yeah, we've been here, and as you know, I know you guys know what's been happening. You could see, you could hear. It was everywhere. Thank you so much for the support. We are here, and we are sure cooking some very interesting things up for you guys, and hopefully we are gonna learn. We're gonna laugh, and have all those lessons. Thank you very much for always being here. Thank you, sir, for having me. Appreciate you.
Of course, you're part of this thing now.
Yes,
This
sir.
we're in this together, brother.
Definitely, definitely,
We're in this together. We're in this together. And of
definitely.
course, I just want everybody to know that Pastor Paul has been of really great support to this vision. Some of the topics you see us discuss here, he engineers them and he actually guides us, and gives us ideas on how to make it successful. So I really want to thank you for being part of this, Pastor Paul Elume. So grateful to have a brother like you who supports. I can see my girlfriend online, Mommy Glory Ayok, always there to support. I hope you're not here today to bash your son, but to give good ideas. Mommy, I miss you. I hope you're back from your trip. I know you traveled to Boston. How was it? I hope you and family had a safe trip to and fro. So, ladies and gentlemen, we shall be talking about the Christian and politics. You all know how it goes. The comment section is open for you to chime in your idea. Just there's no idea that is dumb. Um, there is no question that is dumb. Of course, I'm going to read all your comments here if you comment. Um, Always there for you. Yes, mom. I know that is not even something to say, right? I know. So the Christian and politics. I know it's election season here in the United States, and of course in some other places in the world, and usually Christians are kind of shy of uh, altering their views. They kind of hide and oh, I don't want to say this and get someone offended, or I don't want to say this and people be like, "Ooh, the man like Trump."
Mhm.
Oh, woo, this man is against this. Oh my God. So it's so Christians are the people who are supposed to be the light of the world. They're the people who are supposed to set the tone and set the pace, right? Pastor Paul. But
Yes, sir.
we have all these ideas, and society has somehow created pushed us into a small niche of shy and afraid people. Um, and of course, guess what? Who is setting the tone? The world sets the tone if we can't speak, right? The world
Yeah.
sets the tone if we can't opine. The world sets the tone if we keep our ideas behind. Because someone got to lead. If you don't want to lead, someone is going to rise up, right, and lead.
Yeah.
So I just want to get your views. Uh, Now that election season is coming up, we as Christians, what role should we be playing? Should we just sit and watch and comment at our kitchen tables, or should we actually take an active role in making things happen, running for these offices, organizing ground activities, going out for campaigns, voting, calling out? What should we be doing as Christians? Sorry, I don't know. For some reason, my eyes are really like
Sorry.
getting watery. Maybe because I've not eaten from Mama Glory you for a while. She threw away my
So,
to-go pan. I don't know why, but so Pablo, what role should we be playing as Christians when it comes to politics?
yeah, you said it all. I think Christians should be involved, very, very much involved in politics. They should be very much involved. There's,
Christians should be involved
there,
very, very much.
I don't know what is happening over there, sir.
Sorry, is it good now?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Let's rock.
Yeah, so like I said, Christians should be very much involved. But you know, to go further, I would like to go a little step, go backward a little bit. You talked about the society, sending us to like a corner and all of that. I don't think the society did that. It's Christians and Christian like it's Christians who did that to themselves. I don't think it's a society. I was watching Dr. Miles, talk about this one time, and he said Christians are like 20 years late to everything.
Mm.
They're like 20 years late. Like the world is going forward, and we are playing catch up. We are trying to catch up with how things are going. For instance, when Facebook came, people were like, "Oh, Facebook is evil" and all of that. Radios, they are all evil and all of that.
Today
But
we are doing Facebook Live.
and today we are using all of these things to pass messages and all of that. So it's the way church was presented to. I don't know which set of people who maintained the status quo to say that church should be segregated from the society, you know, whereby uh, people just have themselves in some small corners. And the thing is, a lot of people are like, we want to make heaven. So basically, church was entirely seen for or as a way for people to make heaven. Like people cared less about the affairs of this earth.
Hmm.
and they were just interested in going to heaven and all of that.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be like that. Every Christian should be involved. I was I was still watching Dr. Miles Monroe. There was a message he was teaching on. He said life is not a game. And in that message he was talking about how somebody took 30 years to occupy a position of responsibility in order for him to pass certain agendas that were personal to him. So he took his personal behaviors and stayed with it for 30 years and moved his way up to positions of responsibility or power. And when he got to a place where he felt like he had much power to pass legislations and all of that, guess what? He made his public behavior or his private behavior to become a you know, public behavior whereby people start, having views of like whether it's good or not. I think that's the same thing that Christians should do. We shouldn't just sit and complain about how the world is going. We shouldn't just sit and complain about how things are not going the way they should go. Because I feel like the church is supposed to be the entity that protects our societies from all these wild things that are happening out there. But if the church or Christians are not involved in these things, then there is no way we will see all these things happening in front of us.
Yeah, if we look at the Muslim population, if we go to countries like Nigeria, we 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 see how the leaders of their faith influence a lot of the decisions they make regarding politics. For example, someone going out to vote for Buhari, for example, from the north, wouldn't be voting because of Buhari's policies. They would just be voting for, oh, we have a Malam that is about to be president, and because of that, we know it's going to benefit us, the Muslims here in the north. And so everybody just go and vote, and you will see everybody aligned. So I want to find out, as Christians, uh, do we uh, do we have that same uh, influence from our leadership, where we can look up to them and say, "Oh, this is how Christians should vote," and is that actually happening, or people are just literally diverse in their thinking and in their voting habits, depending on whatever interests them as Christians? Are we united in our vote, or is just scattered all over the place?
So, uh, to be sincere, I think a lot of people before they are Christians, they are first of all they are whatever they are. So you realize that even when the election seasons come, people will be like, I would identify with my tribe's person. You understand? They will care less about what values these people. You understand what I'm saying? So I feel like it's just about how people's mentality work. But I think that if the scriptures say when the righteous is in power, the people rejoice, right? So if if we really know what we are doing, we would understand that a true Christian occupying a position of responsibility would do a better job, because it will not be about, I mean, a true one, it will not be about uh which tribe I belong to or not. It will be about me relating to people as I would relate to myself, basically. You understand? So a
Yeah,
true Christian would not do that. But I feel like uh in the part of the world where you mentioned, I think people are more inclined to their tribes than the values of the Christianity that they proclaim they belong to. That's why you see, Christian or not Christian, even some pastors will be like, because this man a Yoruba man, I'm gonna go for him. Because this man is this, I'm gonna go for him. Only a handful of them were objective to say, irrespective of who this person is or what tribe I come from, the right thing is this, based off of what we have seen, based off of what statistics we have, based off of what proof we have, based off of what evidence we have. This is what is right. Only a handful of people uh, would do that, but most of them are tribalistic. So I
Okay.
feel like the the Christians or not, there is still this this force of tribalism that holds them down, and it gets to be the lens through which they see and make decisions,
Yeah.
basically.
Thank you. Before we continue, I want to thank some very important guests who are watching. Of course, the first is the great Kimby Block. That's the manager of Kimby Block, one of the greatest the greatest online bloggers, one of the greatest bloggers we have in our time now, making things happen, pushing stuff out there. I can say he has played a very big role in pushing out fetal abuse and pushing out the miracle on virtually all platforms. And just doing that for love, not for anything. I hail you, brother. Thank you, man, for what you do. Uh, and I pray that you continue to do your thing, man. Sunday we go blow, we go remember they will start, and we remember people they help me blow. God bless you, Kimby. Block, thank you. And of course, if you are not following his page, please go follow him. He has a lot of very important hits. He drops there every day. Kimby Block for life, guys. And of course, my baby Rachel Sunday, she's online too. She's watching. But there's something that Rachel says, Paul, Rachel says, I'm voting. Even before we started the podcast, she just said, I am voting for Trump.
I wish you can come up and tell us why.
So, Rachel, thank you for your views. We respect your views. But you didn't tell us why you are voting for Trump. Maybe that can be a that you're laughing. That may be something someone is waiting somewhere. There's probably a reason, an important reason you have why you're voting for Trump, and that may motivate someone else to vote for Trump. The person wants to. Of course, on this show, we do not criticize or terrorize people for their political views. Everybody is free to have a view of his own. Everyone is free to express himself freely on this podcast or on this show without fear of being chastised. So, Rachel, feel free to drop your reason why you're voting for Trump in the comment
Comment
section,
section.
and we'll comment on it. We'll talk about it. But talking about what Rachel just said, Pastor Paul, uh, if we look at because she mentioned Trump, if you look at a lot of the things that Republicans stand for,
Hmm.
on paper, there are most of the things that there are most of the things that align with our Christian values. For
Okay.
example, you see Republicans who say no to abortions,
Hmm.
which as a Christian, I don't think uh, it's 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 part of our belief to just abort. I know there can be some exceptions where, personally speaking, where if I see that the life of the mother is in danger, because there are some pregnancies, the doctor will tell you, oh, this pregnancy is ectopic is going to kill you. And if you are out there screaming and say, "Oh hell no, no abortion," it means you're trying to kill that person. I don't think you have common sense in that case. Uh, when when if you ask me if I say no to abortion, I just mean someone just getting like, "Oh, I'm pregnant again." Hell no, I ain't carrying this baby. I'm heading over to Planned Parenthood to get rid of it. That's what I'm against. Republicans also have certain values that they push out there, like what? No to what else? Um, what are other views that they say? No to homosexuality
Okay.
as Christians. Of course, those are views that align with our Christian beliefs. Um,
Mm-hmm.
on the other side, uh, they think no. Uh, if someone thinks it's okay for him to be a homosexual, is their business. Stay out of their damn life. It's none of your business. People should be free to make decisions about their bodies however they want without fear of any interference or restriction from their government. So those are their beliefs. If you ask me, I say that's not what I believe in. But
Okay.
looking at my thing is, why am I bringing this point? There's so many things that Republicans put out there that align with our Christian beliefs. But if we factor a lot of Christians, how they vote with Democrats instead. Why do you think there is that drive towards Democrats instead of towards Republicans who actually carry a lot of the views that Christians align with? Why do you think there is that divide?
I think I already answered this question. People, a lot of people are more emotional, and they would, they would run with those emotions
Hmm.
according to how, they'll run with what, satisfy their emotions more.
Hmm.
You know, for instance, there are people who call themselves gay Christian. You know what I mean? There are people who call themselves gay Christian. So somebody in that position, guess what they're going to vote for? They're going to tilt towards the direction that supports their views on things like that. So that's why I'm saying that most times a lot of people call themselves Christians, but the lens through which they use to make decisions and judge things is not the lens of a Christian. They use their emotions, they use uh, relationships and all of, maybe somebody that they know is this kind of a person, and they just feel like they want to be by that person and all of that. All of those things play a part to that. So that's why some people will still tilt towards that direction, even though they call themselves Christians, and they see values that clearly support their position as Christians, and they still go the other way. It's just the same
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, it's the same thing. I
So
feel
if
like it's just how people understand Christianity and all of that.
Yeah. Hi. Welcome on board. Cindy Banks. Cindy Banks. The way you type out hello, hello, hello looks like you're voting for Trump too. So tell us why. So, but Pastor Paul, if someone comes to you as a Christian and they tell you, "Hey, Pastor, I am contemplating on who to vote for during this election season," who will you
Mhm.
counsel that person to vote for?
So basically, I would want to know why, just like we have discussed. I want to know why the person wants to vote for whoever they want to vote for.
No, the
That's
person is
that's
confused. The person comes out and say, "Pastor, I really
okay.
want to vote this election. I've never voted. I've received a lot of traffic on my phone, on my media, from different political from different political operators out there telling me, 'Oh, vote for me.'"
Okay.
And I'm kind of caught up in the middle. I want you to guide me and just explain to me or guide me in how to vote. Who will you align? Who will you better align
So
with?
in that case, I would tell the person outright to vote for Trump. The reason is this. It's one thing to
So it's you and Rashida plan this Trump thing today.
no, 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 no. It's one thing to should I say, to not know something, and it's another thing to be rebellious. There are some policies that are not just about it's rebellion. It's rebellion. So on a face level, on a face value, I'll tell you, for this reason, I'll vote for this person, because 95% of what, or say 50% of what I see here, is clearly the rebellion. It's not about, it has nothing to do with making the society a better place. If you ask me, it has nothing to do with that. It's just outright rebellion. So I'll say, you know what? This is who I'm voting for this reason. Simple as that.
So, what are some of the things that, as a Trump voter, for example, or what are some of the things you think Trump is bringing to the table that motivates you as a Christian to vote for him? So,
Uh,
because you say
so,
the other one is just rebellion. So, how
no,
is the
no,
other
no.
one? What is the other one bringing that is not rebellion? So
No,
that people who are
based on, I really have not really looked. Truth be told, I've not really looked at those things. I've not looked into a lot of those things. But I was
so
talking about what.
you just align, you just love the
No,
man.
I was talking about what you said. You outlined a couple of things here, and you said
Yeah.
these people stand for, people doing whatever they want to do, and that is rebellion. You understand? You
Hmm.
know, the world is the way it is. To my understanding, the world is the way it is because of rebellion. People wanting to do their own things. So, so if if we are looking into politics and we're looking into governance, our interest should be that our societies should be, habitable. Our societies should be in good shape and all of that. And that aspect of life does not help society in any way. You understand? To an extent, I would say uh, that is destructive freedom. It's a freedom that is destructive to say people have the right to do whatever they want to do. Somebody can get up today. You were working in the prison. Today, somebody can just come and say, I'm a woman. They leave them, they go the next time. I used to work at this prison, Keegan's, right downtown, where these guys were being prepared to go back into the cities. And then, so today they leave, they are men. They come back, they are women. They leave the next time, they come back, they are transgender. The same, you understand? So it's just, to me, I'm like,
Confusion.
this is foolishness. On that aspect, I cannot support no one who stands for such a thing, because it's not. I don't think it's about making the society or our the country to be okay. It's just outright rebellion. That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
there is no way I would say, go for that as opposed to this other direction.
I'd say so I see a lot of Trump lovers on this podcast. So Cindy Banks, she chimed in, she said, as Christians, we need to be involved in politics because it's part of us in building the country to an upright standard and to vote for someone who has policies that draws us to our Christian beliefs. So I asked, so who is that person? She said, Trump, of course. He has policies that we Christians can relate to. So I can see that you people had a small meeting before this podcast, you, Russia, and Cindy Banks, which is, of course, good. Like I said, this is a place where you can express what you believe in. And of course, and we will, uh, we will we are not here to bring down or to talk down on anyone because of whoever the the voting for, or so Carol Alomepe, welcome on board. That is one of my biggest grandsons in this town. If I'm hungry anytime, that is where my arrow comes from. So grandson, I'm not eating arrow for a while. I don't know what you have been doing. You're really feeling your responsibilities. I love you and I miss you, Big Sis. Hope you are doing okay. So we're talking about. Let me run our topic once more, so those who are just joining can see the Christian and politics. What's our role as Christians? And it's so the way our country is divided. There are races that have been decided by one vote just because someone sat home and did not vote. And had it been that person voted, someone that person loved would have won. So we Christians, we have to be more involved in the political game today, and because some of these the decisions that are taken out there that affect our children, that affect our churches, that affect us as individuals, those decisions are taken where? at, by those politicians, and we have the power to, of course, influence some of these decisions by deciding who sits in there. Uh, Now you've mentioned, uh, I've seen a lot of people like, oh, Trump, and the values is they brings, they think they are Christian values. What about people who look at him as a person and they say, "Oh, that's hypocrisy. He's just trying to feed off of the Christian vote because they look at his life and they say, oh, look at his lifestyle, the convictions, the multiple adulteries and divorces. We're not judging him as a person because nobody is perfect, and he, because we all make mistakes. Of course, he has made his mistakes. But what about people who look at him and they say, "Oh, that's the last person you want to relate Christianity to because of the kind of life he has lived and the kind of life he's still living. The thing is just a show to grab the Christians and their vote." What do you have to say to those people who don't want to even think about a person like Trump because of how and what they know about him?
Man, what can I say? It's their view. But one thing I would say I admire about Trump is, for instance, on this particular issue of this, same-sex marriage and all of that, it's something that is very sensitive in this country. It's very sensitive, to have somebody who is vocal about it, someone in that position in that state who is vocal about it, because a lot of people will be afraid to even say anything negative about it. A lot of people will count their words. A lot of people will man, they will be outright scared to utter anything against such. That is why I just look at it. I'm like, you know what? This man can be anything. He can be anything, but for the fact that he has this audacity to do such a thing, it makes me to know that he's somebody that can unknowingly do something. I don't want to say like he could do something, that really goes against the tides, basically. So we definitely have people out there who would say, "Hey, he has done this, he has done that, and all of that." But when it comes to something like that, like I said, for him to stand openly and make such claims, which we know very few people in such a position can actually do, I think to me it speaks volume. That's just how I see it.
So, from the way you're talking, I think for you, the line in the sand is same-sex marriage. That's what
No,
you draw.
I'm just giving, bro. Like I said, it's an example. That's
Uh,
what I said. It's not a. That's. I don't think that is a policy that does anything for anybody, man. You understand my point? Like it it it's not something that it's not like it's something that it's constructing the society in any way. It's not helping the society in any way. I'm just like picking that particular one to talk about it
yeah.
because maybe now there can be some policies that this leader can give that benefits, say, a bunch of people, and you just have a couple of people that that policy will have an adverse effect on, and you understand and it goes both ways. But I'm talking about this one has absolutely, to me, it has absolutely nothing to do. It's not even something that should be discussed on a national level, and that's just how I see that. So if
Yeah.
somebody is trying to sell that to me and I'm looking at it, I'm like, this doesn't make sense. So there is absolutely no reason why I go for such.
Uh, Cindy Barnes said, "No one is perfect. In the Bible, God called imperfect, imperfect beings as disciples." If I can relate this to that, his imperfect lifestyle does not limit his ability and love for humanity. Um, Great point. What well, if we look at Christians, because before I brought this topic, I've spoken, every time I discuss a topic, I try to, kind of get the temperature out of there, and I speak to some, I think, Democrat supporters and staunch Republican supporters to get kind of their views. And the points you all are chiming about Republicans are exactly what I hear out there. But those that are more sympathetic towards Democrats, they feel that Democrats are more compassionate than Republicans. Just like you said, same-sex marriage, that's not even a policy because it doesn't affect us in any way, right? That affect that individual living the sin with his maker. It doesn't affect a lot of, if you look at it, it doesn't affect how much taxes we pay in on our homes or on our businesses and stuff like that. So those who are more sympathetic towards Democrats, they see them like people who bring policies that are more humane, and it doesn't necessarily mean that the people bringing the policies are humane themselves, but at least they feel that they bring in policies that are a little bit more humane and more thoughtful towards a common person, like like the poor, and thinking about how they can get food, um, like the children thinking about how they can get wheat and milk and stuff like that, assistance and some insurance, um, like the immigrants running from war and terror, thinking about how they can get a place to stay and maybe shelter for their children. So they look at this, and they call this Christian values, as opposed to just picking on who is sleeping with who in the bedroom, and you know I don't know if you get my feel. So is it are we too divided that we can like easily find common ground as what we can agree to as something that is acceptable amongst us as Christians, such that we can have a common path that Christians can work to. If you poll 50 Christians now, 25 will be on the other side and 25 will be on the other side. Are we too divided in a way that there's nothing that can unite us anymore?
No, I don't think we are too divided. That's what I said. That's what I said. It's not every Christian that is a Christian. You understand what I mean? Like, I'm not saying I'm more Christian. I'm like, but if we go by, if we go by uh the nature of Christian, you understand? If we go by the nature of a Christian, you realize that uh there's just some things that will not settle. You understand? It's one thing it's one thing to say, you are a sinner, and it's another thing for you to remain a sinner. You understand? It's one thing to say, oh, you came as a sinner, but you cannot remain as a sinner, right? So that's why it's not every Christian that I would say, you know, are living by the doctrines or standards of Christianity. If I should say that, if I should say that, because based off of what you're saying, now this is and there's another thing I want to talk about what you said. There's like I said, a lot of people are so emotional, but emotions were not meant to rule us. It's just like you have your child now. If your child does something wrong, if you want to use emotions to operate with that child, you may leave the child. You may let so many things go when that child does something. But because emotions are not meant to rule us, what happens? You would correct that child the hard way. They will cry, but you are not correcting them the hard way because you don't like them. You're correcting them the hard way because what you you love them, right? So I think it's the same thing. Now there's this thing that people always talk about how Democrats are more compassionate and all of that because they come up with all these benefit things and all of that. But this is how I see it, right? You have this man who would say, okay, like for instance, Trump comes with a 100% business mindset who says, okay, like there are a lot of people who say when Trump was here, we had more money. When Trump was here, we had there were more jobs and all of that. Like there were more lucrative jobs and all of that. I've heard people, a lot of people say that. Now, this is my question: do you do you want the man who basically pampers you with benefits and all of that, and or do you want a man who empowers you whereby even though the benefits are not there you still can take care of, like that's how I see it. Like even if the benefits are not there but you are empowered to do whatever you want to do however you want to do it because you have been, equipped financially to do all of those things, or the other person who come and bring flood the place with all sorts of benefits but you're still like you're basically being maintained in, should I say, poverty and all of that. Like that's I see it in that angle as well. I also see it in that angle. So
Fine. So you give some very powerful points. Even though it doesn't mean I necessarily agree with everything you said. For example, like saying there are people who think that when Trump was here, we had better jobs and stuff like that. And well, the people who tell you that before Trump came, he was handed a very strong economy from the Obama era, and of course, uh, he bet on those successes of the Obama era, and the people think that towards the end of his presidency, he screwed that up with COVID by not managing COVID well. But that we're not here to dig into the details of the Trump presidency. Um, and I'm just trying for us to see where we come in as Christians. If I read a comment from Mark Glory Ayok, she said, two evils, choose a lesser evil in politics. I really want her to explain what she means by two evils and let us know who is a lesser evil so we can follow that lesser evil. Because if you just tell us two evils, follow the lesser evil, we don't know until you explain to us which one is a lesser evil and why, right? This how I see it, or this how I know a lot of people. I'm looking at it from the lens of a lot of people I spoke to. People think that uh, the people to whom compassion is a line. There are others whom some specific Christian values like same sex, abortion is the line. Uh, Now, what I look at it is the way I look at it is uh, if uh, you're propagating abortion ideas and same sex marriage ideas, those are not things I agree to, but the things that affect the individual committing the sin and his God. But as Cindy Banks says, it affects us because our children or younger generation tend to such policies as
yeah,
normal life situations. That
yeah.
is true. And that is true. My problem with these guys is uh well, you can live your life the way you want to live it. It's you and your God. But once you start trying to put it out there and force everybody to live like that or accept those views, that's what I have a problem with. For example, I remember S Concept Graphics. Welcome on board, brother. Following up live, yeah, sure. Uh, I remember there was this lady in Kentucky. Her name was Kim Davis, and she was a county clerk in Kentucky in a very small county. And there were these same sex couples that wanted to do a wedding cake.
Mm-hmm.
So those couples, There were two guys. They wanted to get married.
Mm-hmm.
So they wanted to do a wedding cake. On that cake was supposed to be the statue of a guy and another guy, maybe hugging and kissing or something like that. And that county clerk, she was Christian. So, no, they wanted to actually sign their marriage here. So they came to her and she said, no, I'm Christian. My values do not permit me to sign off on this.
Mm-hmm.
And that was her job as a county clerk to sign off. And at that time, the Supreme Court had passed or legalized same-sex marriage in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was their view. That was their personal life, right? And
Mm-hmm.
they could do whatever they want to do. I don't care. But if I have to talk to them, I'll tell them what I think is right. But my point now was they went and this county clerk said, I can't do it. But bro, there's another county clerk just two miles down street. Just two. You don't even need to take an Uber. I can even walk to that county clerk. And that county clerk will gladly sign off. They say, no, pa, we want me now you, Remy, want me now you sign now. Now you must sign up. Because our taxpayers' money, our tax money paid for you to sign up on this. So you see where the problem now comes? You have a view that you want everybody to, you want to regurgitate it and shove it down everybody's throat. And I think that's a problem. And I think that is why there's so much divide. People people have some views and they think, oh, because they have this view, if you don't have that particular view, you're wicked, you're anti this, you're anti this. No, 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 no. People have their personal views and they're allowed to have those views. Why shove it down? Why push it down somebody's throat? You see? And I think they terrorized that woman's life. She ended up in jail because she refused to sign up on that because the court had given her ultimatums to do that. She refused. She ended up in jail. You know, it was a big thing. And then they rallied and organized a campaign and ousted her from her office. So what was I saying with this long story? Uh, a lot of times in this country, there are views out there that are views that should only affect individual people, but they don't consume those views as individual. They want to nationalize those views. And of course, that ends up affecting our kids, just like Cindy Banks said earlier. It affects us at our place of work. Bro, where you work, there's some things you can't say now just because someone is going to get offended and you might lose your
Yeah,
job, right? That's some
that's
stuff
what I
you can
say.
say.
That's what I say.
That's
That's
some
what I
stuff
say.
you can
Because the freedom in this country is a destructive one, man. I'm telling you, it's a destructive freedom. People say there is freedom here. They look at it very well. Everything about what they say is freedom. Is self-destruct, you know. So that at the end of the day, if I see somebody who is interested even a little bit to foster the natural flow of things, man.
Yeah. So, like I
You-
said, from the way you talk, I can tell what your red line is. Your red line is Sodom and Gomorrah. It's clear, and of course, it's not a problem. That's your view, bro. There are also some people. For them, they don't support that, but they don't. They are more. They have they look they have things that they see like maybe more of a bigger picture that affect our lives that they're like, oh hell no. I think I'm better aligned with this. But there's something Mommy Gloss says. From what Pastor Paul said, it is clear both sides have deficits. Go for what you want. Which of the ideas are God oriented? What legacy do you want for your offspring? Mommy Glory, the only thing is that while you're saying that thing, I passed in front of your house today and I saw a big sign, a big poster on your car. Uh, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. So tell us, do they have the values that you're looking for, or why do you have that symbol on your yacht? Tell us. Ciniban says, yes, we are divided in our different beliefs. In other words, good and evil. I'm not saying Democrats or Republicans are, but clearly that's what we are fighting. Democrats pacify us with those little benefits, but looking at their policies, we are gradually being forced to evil. Pastor Paul said, one, they impose a lot of evil, which which to us as Christians and morally human beings can't sit well with us. We can't agree with same-sex marriage, exposing our children to sexuality, limiting parents' say in the lives of their children. So,
Bro, do you know something? Sorry, let me say something. Do you know when we're growing up, four guys, five guys can sleep on the same bed. There is nothing like in this America. Even my brother that we came from Boya together. One day sleep together on the bed. The guy was like, bro, but I'll leave for you.
bro, when I came to
Bro,
this
I was
country,
sleeping for yeah.
when I came to this country, I was hosted by a pastor. Okay, I was hosted by a pastor, and that time he was also just just starting his life too. So he just had a one bedroom apartment, and bro, we were sleeping on the same bed. So one day I went to my job and then I went to my job and just like we're talking and like, oh, where do you stay? And a long discussion. And I was saying, oh, I stay with my one of my brothers. He's a pastor. He said, oh, he got a house. He said, yeah, no, he had an apartment. He said, oh, how many bedrooms? I said, one. And there was like a pause. Everybody looked at me like I'm an alien, and they're like,
Their minds are
yeah,
messed
yeah,
up.
they're like, bro. So how do you all sleep? I said, on the bed, of course. It's on the same bed. I said, those guys screamed. They almost changed my DNA. I said, what? What's wrong with that? They said,
I'm
bro, two
telling
men on
you,
the
the
same bed. Damn. So
minds are messed up,
yeah, it's
brother.
messed
They
up.
are
It's the
messed
nature of
up.
the country we are living in. But this is how I see it. Uh, there's a very big divide, and and so many Christians are caught up in the middle, uh, not knowing what direction they should go because there are just so many conflicting ideas that are lambasting them. Uh, let me give you an example. For example, looking at what happened in Israel. Uh, if you're watching once more, let me just address our viewers. If you're watching once more, you're on the Mankepa show. Of course, you know how we do it here. We share and we support this show. We share, we comment, we interact. And let it not be a Pastor Paul, Pastor Emma show. And thank you for those who have been commenting and following live and opining. God bless you all. So, like I was saying, Pastor Paul, looking at what happened in Israel with Gaza, there was so much bombing and killing. And a lot of people are okay with that. So long as uh, it's killing Muslims, they don't care. And they are Christians, you see. And you can't tell me you have Christian values and those Christian values are only limited to who is sleeping with who. And, or who is sleeping with who. There are people who draw a red line at same-sex marriage or same-sex habits, and they don't care what other evil is being propagated around the world. Like you could literally see people drop a bomb at a school center and vanish, and 50 kids evaporate into thin air. And some Christians, that's just okay, so long as it's not happening to us or not happening to Christian kids. Do you think? Do you think uh, uh, there is some form of hypocrisy when it comes to uh, Christians screaming, "Oh, Christian values, Christian values, Christian values," and they only focus on one or two points, and they don't care whatsoever is happening? Are Christian values only limited to a few things, or is it something that should be generalized?
So the thing is, I've made this point here that you know some people see Christianity as a religion. They just identify themselves.
Okay.
A true Christian will not see people being massacred and not care. That's why some people just identify themselves as like there is a Muslim. Some people just
Yeah.
identify themselves as
Bro,
Christian.
I've spoken to people, and these are people. I spoke to some, and I spoke to someone I know who is a pastor's wife in a very big ministry, and I was so depressed one day, and we were talking. I'm like, bro, I watched the news today, my dear. Like, these people just went and dropped the bomb at the. They told people, oh, leave this area and go to this area, and then they went there and they followed and dropped bombs on them and killed about 50 people in their hospital. And they, you know what that person said to me? I'm telling you this, like first lady or second lady at the church, like, of course, before they wanted to look for trouble, didn't know. Oh my god.
No, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. There are still people. There are still people who are in church and they are praying that they should have to send that die by fire and all of those things. You understand? That's what I'm saying. So, you know, like I said, there are people who just identify, and there are some people who are just ignorant. We have to take all of these things into consideration, bro. But there are some people that are rebellious. That is it. So the rebellious thing is like negative. It's like you count from you leave zero and you start going backward. Like you understand? Like it's negative. It's it's out of the norm. It's
Yeah.
there are some things that there are some things that you can say, oh, this is an error. There's some things that you can say, oh, this is a mistake. There's some things that you can say, oh, this was out of ignorance. But there are some things that are out of the norm. When people start getting to such levels or standards, that is that is rebellion. And if care is not taken, it starts becoming a culture, and then you see we get to a point where where
No return.
truth becomes strange, and that way becomes normal. You know what?
Truth is already strange now. If you want to
That's what
know,
I'm
just
saying.
try just try and mention some things at your place of work. Like
That's what I'm
HR
saying.
will call you the next day.
That's what I'm saying. So it is on that base that I do. That is where my standard of
Yeah.
my premise of reasoning is. I start
Yeah,
from
yeah,
there.
I get your point. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're very powerful, and of course, those are your views. You have to stick to your convictions. Uh,
definitely.
and I'm glad that you have something you believe in and you're standing for it. Cindy Banks said, "To those voting for Kamala, should give us a reason why we should vote for her. Maybe we are lost." Well, I'll tell you, a lot of people are voting for Kamala because they don't want Trump. So, if you are
And she's
lost.
a woman.
Uh,
Some people are just voting because she's a woman.
Some people are voting because she's a woman. I don't think there are a lot of people voting for her because she supports same-sex marriage. I don't even think she supports it, but she knows that if she says it, she's gonna get those votes. A lot of them, the things they say is not actually what they believe in. They just want those votes. Just like Trump may also be saying Christian, Bible, probably don't even believe in anything like that. But he knows that there's a particular voting bloc that he's going to attract if he says that. So these people are politicians. They're out there to do their what they're looking for is their money, the deals they can sign and enrich themselves. They don't really care about us. If anybody here standing here listening to me today thinks that any of these politicians Biden, Kamala, Trump, Pence, any of these guys really think or care about you, then you still have a lot to learn about. These people are out there, they have the way these people will fight to get in that place because of you. Who are you? Do they know? The way these people will fight and tear themselves to get in that place, there's something they stand to
I,
benefit.
I, me, I,
They are the last in their list.
I feel like if Trump wins, the war in Israel will stop. I have a strong feeling that if Trump wins, that is going to stop. I
You
have a
think what
very
is going to stop?
I have a strong feeling that if
What
Trump
is going
wins,
to stop?
the war in Israel will stop.
The
That
one
thing that
Israel stop. I don't think
thing
Trump.
it will stop.
I don't think any of them. Listen, I don't think can
That's
stop
just
it.
my thinking.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just
But let me tell you what. Let me tell you.
uh,
I don't think Trump has the capacity to stop the war in Israel because the war in Israel. There's only one person who can stop that war, and that is Israel's prime minister. Welcome, my father. Mr. Lundy James is watching. That's one of my fathers and one of my support systems. It gives me a sweet, goofy feeling when I see my fathers listening and and commenting. That if you're just joining, we're talking about the Christians and politics. What is our role as Christians? So if you have a point of view, just drop it. We're going to opine on. So, Pastor Paul, what I'm saying is, I don't think Trump has the capacity to stop the war in Israel. One, he didn't start it. Two, Israel is a very stubborn nation. They have a way they do their things. They don't. Israel doesn't really listen to the United States like, oh, we are the ones who have to tell them when to start or when to stop wars. No. In short, we are instead the ones funding those wars. The United States is a big a big chunk of those running us are Jews. And of course, they support the war because they think it's an identity, a fight for their identity. So if you go to Congress now, about 80% of the Congress people you see there, they have Jewish roots. So what's Trump going to come? What's Trump going to say that no, don't pass a bill? Those who are going to pass their bill, if he refuse to sign it, they'll overwrite it with a veto. That's the only time that Republicans and Democrats they agree when it's time to go and spend money in war, bomb places, sell weapons, enrich themselves. That's it. So Trump, when he was here, there were wars. He didn't. Which ones did he stop? So don't think he'll come and stop anything, brother. He's not going to stop anything. When he comes, he's just going to sit where his
Yeah,
advisors will ask him to
so,
sit and
that
continue.
Trump. I saw a video of him and Netanyahu. The guy was wounded. He was looking at him like that.
Okay, but so what is he going to do? The thing is that there are already bills that this country, there are already pacts that this country have entered to with Israel to send a certain amount of money to Israel every year. I think is it 10 billion or $4 billion or however every year, brother. That money just they can use that money to fund whatever war they can fund. That those pacts were not written by Trump, and Trump cannot stop them because those are congressional pacts that were passed. You get what I mean? And there's no bill that they pass in this country. There's no budget they pass without sizing a good chunk of it to support and sustain Israel. Why? Because they believe in quotes, they are the only democracy in quotes. I don't think they're a democracy. They're the only democracy in the Middle East. They so and they are strategically placed for this country to pass through them and do a lot of their stuff that they want to do out there in the Middle East. That's why they're all fighting, buying. This country will sacrifice everything to save Israel, to support and sustain Israel. So those are the things we don't understand. There's no one political or one president will come and say, "Oh, I want to tell Israel from today do this." No, no, no. Even if they want to, brother, they don't have the capacity to do it. It has to be a whole congressional thing, and like this Congress that I know will not do it because they have an interest in the war going on. Bro, as these people are dying, these guys are getting rich. These guys have big shares in all these multinational war machine equipment makers. So, it is their thing. They know how they're benefiting from it. So, uh, as Christians, I don't think we should only be focused on one or two things and like draw a red line on it. I want us to look at the bigger picture, look at the big picture. Apart from this and this, what about this other thing? What about it? But that's the error Christians make. If you call Christians, they'll all draw one particular line. I cannot vote for Kamala because of this. I cannot vote for Trump because of this. But now, if you ask them, okay, what are the policies of the person you want to vote for? They can't even tell you the policies of the person they're voting for because they vote because of identity issues, single identity issues. If I tell you now, call 10 Christians and tell them, oh, what are you voting for? I'm voting for Trump. Can you name two things Trump says he's going to do? Or what are the policies that Trump is pushing out there? They can't tell you. Or what are the policies that Kamala Harris is pushing out there? They cannot tell you. They will just stick to one thing and they're like, oh, this is the hill where we die. I don't think it's supposed to be like that. We have to look at the bigger picture. It's just like a house. You can't just like, oh, I want the roof to be good. I want the roof to be. What about the foundation? I want the foundation to be good. Okay, after the foundation, what about the bodywork? What about the roofing? What about the tiles? What about the plumbing? What about the electrical work? It's all different things that come together. You get what I mean? So if you just like, oh, I'm dying on the heel of the foundation. After that, you have holes in your roof and you can't sleep because of rain. Eh? Trump is going to set a negotiation ground as he has always done. Hey, Citibank. That's what Trump
Yeah,
gives
oh,
us.
the bank educate this man, master. See, Pastor, there are just some things that I feel like they are foundational, which they if they get broken, right,
Mhm.
there is nothing that you do that will like you are you understanding? Like I don't
Of
think
course.
you can if there are some things that they are broken, right? They are foundational. If they are destroyed, if they are broken, there is no other thing. No matter what you do, it's just like you are trying to build a house on a sandy soil, right? It's like you're trying to build a house on sand. Are you there?
Yeah,
Yes, what's going to happen is going to come. That. So there are some things that the reason why I'm talking about this is not because I don't know that there may be some other good things that are there, but all my take is if we destroy foundational things, there is no point trying to bring other things to be like, oh, this is good and this is good when not there is no foundation for those things to stand upon. You know what I mean?
yeah, I get you. I
That's
get your
that's
point.
that's the way I
Very
see it.
brilliant. Very brilliant.
Yeah, that's the way I see it.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, Thank you, Pastor Paul. I think you were very brilliant in your opinions today. I really want to thank you. For our viewers who are watching, I think we're winding down the show for today. It's been a while. You guys have not seen us on air, and like I earlier said, and I want to really apologize for the long absence. We had a big project at hand. We were in the fight of our life to release our awesome movie Fatal Abuse, uh, and to release our song, The Miracle. These songs are on every platform you can ever dream of. Just go watch them on YouTube, um, Apple Music, um, Spotify, iTunes. They on every platform. Uh, Go find The Miracle by Eman Kepa. Please make sure you subscribe to our channel, Eman Kepa Production, on YouTube, on Facebook, and wherever you can, wherever you get the watch media. We're on all those platforms and watch our movie, please. Fatal Abuse. It's a very powerful, well crafted movie. We've got a lot of powerful feedback from people who were so wowed by the quality of our production. They're like, wow, wow, we didn't know you guys could pull up something like this. Of course, we can. And we're working already on the next production. So stay tuned. Please go watch it, watch it, watch it, watch it. And of course, make sure you tell us what we need to improve. Please. The reason we want you to watch is not just so we can have views, it's so you can tell us how we can grow. Teach us how to do this better next time. Um, of course, if you haven't yet shared this live, share this live too. I'm gonna give you the floor, Pastor Paul, to give closing remarks. The Christian and politics. What are your few words? Final words.
Uh, I think it was what we started with. If you're a Christian, you get involved, not just at the level of voting. There are other ways you can be active in the politics. Like I said, you can train our kids to be more involved, train our kids to be more engaged, make them to understand and see the importance of it, and all of those things. Like I said, there was a man who carried an agenda in his heart, and once he found himself in a place of responsibility, guess what? He made his private agenda to become a public agenda, and no matter what people want to say, it has or the law has already been passed. There is nothing you can do. There is nothing you can say. And once a law is passed, it becomes a culture. And once it becomes a culture, it affects everybody, whether you like it or you don't like it. So I think the way we combat that is we encourage people to be part of it. The scriptures are clear. One, when the righteous are in power, the people rejoice. It means that if a righteous man is in power, their policies will not be going out to hurt people and all of that. Their policies will be going out to see that people are well taken care of and all of that. Their worries will not be about things like that and all of that. So I think Christians should be engaged more in politics. Our kids should be trained and taught that these things are important. there is a tendency that we'll have our kids and we'll have them focus on just how they should survive life and care less about you know them getting involved in the running of their societies or environments or countries or all of those things. So I think more interest should be given to that activity.
Thank you, Pastor Paul Elume, the son of the prophet, pastor at Graceland Harvest Church. God bless you, brother, for always being there.
Thank
Always
you, sir.
ready. Anytime I call you, always ready. Um, if I don't have any guests, at least I know I always have. I always
Disappointed.
have.
I disappointed you one time.
No, it's okay. 1 out of 20 doesn't mean nothing. It's still
Oh
90. It's still
God.
90. It's still 95%.
I have a topic. I want to propose a topic. I want the viewers to hear. Let them go and let them.
Research. Okay, drop it.
I have a topic.
Mhm.
Who loves more, the man or the woman?
Who loves more? So, viewers, you heard that topic. We should discuss that topic next. Who loves more, the
Who
man
loves more,
or the,
the
or the
man
woman?
or the woman? Come up with your points. Come up
Come
with
up with a
your.
point.
So
We should grant.
let's.
We should grant this topic next. I
Yes.
hope the viewers heard that. I'm gonna write that down too. Who loves more, the man
Yeah.
or the woman?
Who loves more?
Uh, Great topic for our next debate. For our next podcast. Thank you all who are still live, who stayed on to the end. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, especially if you, mommy glory, men don't love, men want self-interest. Okay.
We don't
Don't,
have
don't
to
start.
start
Don't
that
start that
day.
one.
We don't have to
We'll
start that day,
sa-
please.
save that. Save that for the next podcast.
Please, you
Uh,
people come. You people will be so disappointed. Women will be so disappointed. What I have for them
mommy,
that day.
of course. Thank you all. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Mark Glory. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. And especially if you are one of those who have watched, one of the 2,600 people who have already watched Fatal Abuse, we want to say thank you. If you are part of the many who have shared, we want to say thank you. Please keep supporting this production the best way you can. We are investing all our time, all our money, all our energy to bring out these educative hits for you. So please, your only role is to watch and share. Oh. Uh, Somebody will not watch and share because you will make a man keeper rich. We're not getting any money from this thing. Why is it putting money in it? So
Mhm.
please, so please just watch, share, so many can get the information we're trying to put out there. There's so much, like you heard in our debate, in our discussion today. There's so much that our society is trying to throw at us. Some of the ways we counter them is through these teachings, through these podcasts, through these debates, through these movies we release out there, of course, and through the many productions and stuff that you see all throughout there. So be a part of the support system for this by doing all you can to
Are you there?
yeah, I'm there. Thank you all very much, and I hope to see you again next week, God willing, for yet another edition of the Eman Kepa show. I love you all, and God bless you all.